tell me, how did your second session go? What did you do?
So I have to tell you this, that after the first session, we had the weekend, and children were going through a workshop in the school. So 3 days they had a full day workshop, and we didn't have regular classes. So we met them after, I think we did this on Thursday, the first week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we met them. So it was a good 4 days. And on Friday and Monday, we had children see us on the corridors. No, I think we did it on Tuesday. Correct. Tuesday we did it.
Oh,
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they had a workshop. So we didn't meet them. I mean, we met them, but we didn't do science.
right.
And we had the next session on Tuesday, the next week.
A good week later.
Yeah, almost. And each day, you won't believe when they saw us though they were going through a very interesting workshop and they were fully engaged. But whenever they saw me or my colleague, they asked, "Are we having science today? Are you bringing in more cards? What are we exploring?" And on Tuesday, when we went in, so we had decided session two was the highlight for us because we were role playing. My colleague was Eichmann, and I was the interviewer. So what we decided was, instead of just giving them a story card with text, which says that Eichmann had returned from Robert Koch's study, and then the study of the theory that microorganisms can cause diseases. So we didn't want to write it and give it to them. Instead, what we did was, like an interviewer, I went in first. So my colleague was not in the class. I went in and students were waiting. They said, "What are you going to do? A card? You've not brought anything in your hand. What are you giving us?" So they were already sitting in their groups, let me tell you, in the same spots that we had given. So they had done that preliminary work. Chowkis arranged, they were sitting in circles. They had an A4 sheet, pencil, everything ready. So when I went in, it was funny. We had asked the other colleague to set up a mic system in the class so that it becomes very realistic. So I went in, and when they said "Akka, Akka," I didn't respond to them. Well, Akka is the way they address us in the school. So I didn't respond at all. So they were confused that why is she acting like this? I just took up the mic and I went in and I announced like a TV news anchor. We cooked up a name. We said Science News, and I welcomed them to this show. And I sat down and I said, "Today I have a special guest who's come back after 3 long years of working with his mentor, Robert Koch, who's just identified this sensational theory that microorganisms can cause diseases." And you should have seen the way they were sitting, and they had understood something is coming up. And they were just so quiet. Okay, I set the stage and I said, "Now I invite Christian Eichmann into our studio to interview." And when my colleague walked in, you should have seen they were in splits. They were clapping, like there were audience in that TV studio. He came and sat, and I must say that he did a fabulous job as Christian Eichmann. He just went into the character. He was just like another child in our class. Both of us, in fact, felt like that. And then through the interview, I asked him some questions.
Yeah. What did you ask? What did you ask Dr.
So firstly, I welcomed him. Then I asked him that so we finished the first story card, the previous session with the children, asking them to be scientists to find out more about beriberi. Yes. So in the interview, we began by context setting, and I said that you have been called upon to Indonesia because you've done such fabulous work with Robert Koch to become that scientist who's going to find out more about beriberi and help people. So we set context like that Eichmann had stepped in as the scientist. And then I asked him a little bit about what he had done with Robert Koch. So he explained it in a very simple, child-friendly way, that how microorganisms can cause diseases, how the incubation period can vary. So we set small, pieces of information we had given through the interview. And then as the interviewer, what I decided to do was I brought out that I had faced a personal loss in my family because of beriberi. So I am very, very interested in helping Eichmann and do whatever I can as an individual. And I offered. So Eichmann, at a point in his interview, when I asked him how he's going to study beriberi, he says that I'm going to use the same theory that Koch has suggested. I'm very sure that beriberi is being caused by microorganisms, and I'm going to study about that. He doesn't say how he's going to study. He just says that I've been using animals like monkeys and rabbits, but I've not been able to really get good results. He didn't mention anything about using their blood or saliva, nothing. He just says, I've been working with animals and it's not worked. So as an interviewer, I get very intense and I say, I have a coop of chicken. I would be very happy if you can, use my chicken to find out, because I personally have lost a family member and I want to help you in any way possible. And then Eichmann turns to our children very dramatically and says, he thanks me and then says that you guys, fifth graders, are my team. And I want you to step in with me into this journey. And I want each one of you to help me in helping the people of Indonesia. We have to find the cause of beriberi. And that's how we end the interview.
Beautiful.
Once the interview was done, we asked the children, they were very excited. They wanted to ask a lot of questions. So we just asked them to hold their horses. We said, no, don't talk. Just let the information that you've gathered from this interview simmer in your minds, in your group. And first thing you do, you discuss with each other and write down in bullet points, in phrases. We said you don't even have to write in sentences. Just put your understanding down first. That's all. That's how we ended the first 10 minutes of the session.
Lovely.
Following this, once they were ready with their points, we told the students that they had to try and come up with an experiment to test Eichmann's guess. So Eichmann's guess was that microorganisms are causing this disease. So we asked them to come up with a test. What would they do as Eichmann? So they had some idea. Monkeys, rabbits, chicken. So we had given them what they could use indirectly.
Yes.
And we wanted to see what kind of tests they would run.
Right.
Most of the groups said that we are going to test the blood. Some said we are going to test the skin. Some said we are going to test the mucus. One said we will test the saliva. And they all kind of said that in our test, we are going to see what is different. Or we are going to find the presence of some microorganisms which the world already doesn't know.
Right.
So that much they were able to bring out in their discussion. We gave them a good 5 minutes to record and then another 5 minutes to share with all of us. Session didn't end there. So it's a good 30-minute block. So we had a good 2-minute interview. Then we had another 2 minutes for them to write down. Then 5 minutes to come up with an experiment of what they will do to test Eichmann's theory. And then we had a good 15 minutes still left. So what we did was we gave them the next story card, which was the experiment that Eichmann did. Okay. So right now they were all thinking like Eichmann and they had come up with their own experiments, blood, saliva. Now we told them what Eichmann did through a story card. So it said that Eichmann tried injecting chicken with microorganisms from people who died of beriberi, but nothing happened. That's all. That was the text. Very simple, 3 lines. We said he used the chicken, he injected them with the blood like most of you are saying, but you know what happened? Nothing happened. So according to them now, when they have injected blood, they have in their mind found the cause and the cure for beriberi. But they realized that Eichmann failed. Lovely. Nothing happened there.
Lovely.
So we said, because we said, huh? So we said, stop and jot. Why do you think this happened or what do you think actually happened? And then we also asked them, what do you conclude from this result? So this was given to them as a story card. Card had only this information. Right. 2 things they had to do. Stop and jot why they think that nothing happened to the chicken and what was their conclusion, inference from the result.
Pretty much.
So it was very interesting.
Aren't these 2 the same question?
Yes. So we're just giving them different ways. First thing is just to stop and jot why and then trying to actually help them get into the shoes and yes and actually hypothesize and find inferences from this the hidden meanings we wanted them to find out. It was very interesting to hear their responses, each group. Some said that animals have more immunity than people, better immunity. So they don't get it.
Which means this group is sticking to the theory of microorganism causing, not letting go of that theory. Saying the theory is right, the result is because of some problem with the
Yes, better immunity. Another group said that the incubation period in animals is different.
Again, the same. That's why they are not letting go of the theory of microorganisms. They're still holding on to that theory.
They are for Eichmann's theory and Koch's theory. Right. But they are giving us reasons as to why it didn't work. Why it's not showing. But people are dying, so people have compromised immunity or incubation period is slower. Then one group said that they have something in their body which fights against beriberi microorganisms. Antibodies, correct. Antibodies, they said. The fourth group, which apparently seemed quite slow, the last 2 days, like they were not very vibrant in terms of their answers. I as an observer, if I had to notice, they said we agree with group 1, we agree with group 2. But today, in this discussion, They just looked blank at us and they said, what if this is not even caused by microorganisms?
Hey, wow.
And I don't know if they knew the power of what they had just said. They said, what if it's not even caused by microorganisms? Why are we stuck there?
Wow.
Exactly. And me and my colleague just looked into each other. We didn't want to give up anything. So we just acted as if nothing had happened. But actually, the earth beneath our foot just shook. It was phenomenal to hear them say that. So I mean, I'm again and again saying when they're left to do something on their own, and if you can give them the right kind of stimulus, they can really get to the depth of things. So that's where we stopped on day 2.